Good evening, greetings, and welcome inside the MacArthur Center. It's a Sunshine State Conference matchup between Eckerd College and the University of Tampa Tritons. Ryan Halstead, Nate March here with you on the Eckerd Triton Sports Network. And it should be a fun evening of basketball on the Bay as the Tritons come in at 13-5, 7-4 in conference play, and trying to avenge an early season loss and a defensive slugfest at Tampa, 48-44. The Spartans, meanwhile, have fallen on hard times as they enter 12-6, but 5-6 in conference play, and having lost their last four, several very, very close contests. And when the Spartans hit the floor, you expect them to be close because they are an elite defensive team, but sometimes lack scoring punch, which at times has been the story for Eckerd as well.
It's really a game tonight that kind of two teams that mirror each other. Defensively is their go-to. Tritons, I think, better outside shooting, but give the credit to the Spartans, one of the best defensive teams in the conference. But as you said, falling on hard times, and in those four-game losing streak, has not scored over 60 points into any of those. And I think that's going to be a key tonight. If the Tritons can hit outside shots and get this game into the 60s, it's going to bode well for them tonight.
For the Spartans, the scorer to watch, Stacey Titer, a junior from Orlando, Florida, averaging 13 per game. And she's 5'8", and again, this offense hasn't been particularly consistent over the course of the season, but that's who Tampa is looking to give them punch. The story for Eckerd last time out in their win against Florida Tech was Abby White-Eye off the bench with a double-double, and we'll see if she can provide that spark again when called upon for Paul Honsinger's team tonight.
Big game Saturday night, Nate, for Abby White-Eye. With Brooke Jude out, the minutes got to go somewhere, and that really was kind of a coming-out party. She, we talked about it Saturday as how athletic she is and just a knack and awareness. Just plays. I mean, every time she's on the court, she was making a play, whether it was on the offense or defensive, getting these steals, getting rebounds, making the extra pass. That could be a huge matchup because she's kind of been quiet and an unknown most of the season. Saturday could have been her coming out party.
We're approaching a scheduled 5:30 p.m. tip-off in the women's game. The men's game will follow as Eckerd looks to stay at least in a share of first place on the men's side in the Sunshine State Conference, as a recent slump for Berry University has led to Eckerd climbing back into a three-way tie for first. Eckerd, Berry, and Rollins. Again, we'll talk more about that game later on this evening as the men will be hitting the floor. But getting ready for this women's contest, once again, Eckerd on their home floor looking to get some revenge against this Tampa team. And Eckerd, I would say, is in a very different place than they were in November when they played that game. Their offense still sometimes disappears, but they've certainly found at least the tempo they want to play at, which, at times they were grasping even for some of those basic principles early on in the season.
Well, I think a big part of the flow of their offense has been dictated, too, on foul trouble. When they've gotten into foul trouble, that's really put some pressure on them to find points out of Yalchin in foul trouble Saturday. It's been the post players in the past. So tonight really going to be important for them to stay out of foul trouble. I think that'll get them going offensively. And if they can hit that outside shot and really, get some good looks, I think that could be a good thing for them on their home court.
Yarden Denon had 5 3-pointers in Saturday's game. Her outside stroke would certainly be welcome again tonight as Eckerd tries to get the offense going against a very potent defense. Tampa, coached by Tom Jesse in his 16th season, 8 NCAA tourney berths in the last 12 years for the Spartans. We'll be back with the starting lineups in just a moment, but first we honor our great nation with the playing of the Star-Spangled Banner. The national anthem concludes in St. Petersburg. We're moments away from tip-off for the Eckerd College Tritons and the University of Tampa Spartans. Ryan Halstead and Nate March here with you. We'll start with the starting five for the visiting Tampa Spartans.
Number 1.
Faith Sanders, a 5'10 senior from Savannah, Georgia. Rachel Warden, who is a 5'8 guard from the state of Kentucky. She is a sophomore. Rachel Warden joined in the backcourt by Karma Jeremy, a 5'8 senior guard from Orlando. We mentioned Stasa Titer, a junior from Orlando, a 5'8 forward, averaging 13 per game. And then rounding out the starting lineup, Emily Eshu, a 5'9 guard from Naperville, Illinois. The coach for Tampa, Tom Jesse, in his 16th season. And here's Ryan with the starters for Eckerd College.
Same starters as it's been for most of the season. At guard, number 5, Ada Yalchin. She's a 5'6 senior from Antalya, Turkey. Number 12, Yarden Danan, a 5'10 combo guard forward, junior from Relvet, Israel. In the post, number 14, Army Antela. She's a 6'2 senior. Really important that she really is a presence tonight and rebounds well. Number 15, Chelsea Johnson, from a 5'7 junior guard from Orlando, Florida. And of course, Defensive Player of the Week in the Sunshine State Conference, number 32, Casey Jude, a 5'9 senior from Tipton, Indiana.
And of course, the Tritons coached by Paul Hansinger in his 12th season, assisted by Deandra Shermer. And the Tritons 7-4 in conference play, looking up at 9-2 Florida Southern in those conference standings. The Tritons do have a win in hand against the Moccasins this season, but this is one of those opportunities for Eckerd to score a revenge win over Tampa. Of course, Eckerd, the defending conference champions in the Sunshine State Conference, and looking to really get their groove going as we head down the stretch and into February.
A big opportunity here tonight. They're starting to see some separation between the top 4 and the second 4 teams. Tritons come in with a 2-game advantage over the Spartans. They can get a win from here. That gives them an inside edge to hosting that first game of the conference tournament here at the end of February. Of course, once again, Deandra Shermer out today. Still ill. Talked to Coach Hunsinger on Sunday. And really interesting how he talked about how the whole setup of practice and scouting and changes being kind of short. So we do hope that Coach Shermer is getting better and will be back with the team on Saturday.
Certainly hoping for her health to return. Teams heading onto the floor. Tampa in their road blacks with red letters and numbers, white trim, and the teal and steel for Eckerd. Those steel jerseys with the dark letters and numbers with the thin teal trim. Our officials for today's game, Marshall O'Sheal, Ray Lewis, and Daryl Dawkins. 10 minutes up on the clock. 4 quarters are ahead of us. Army Antela wins the tip to Danan for the Tritons. What a turnover right away. Danan fighting for possession, but turned over. The Spartans take it the other way. Rachel Warden running point.
The Spartans do a lot of dribble handoff, like to go inside out, high-low opportunities. They really attack inside the paint.
Faith Sanders, 17-footer, fading away. Casey Jude with the rebound for the Tritons. So an empty first possession for the Spartans. Jude gets it over to Danan, who had the early turnover, looking to pass to Jude on the first possession. Chelsea Johnson, left corner. 40 seconds in, Antela has a foul line extended jumper off the back of the iron. Offensive rebound, Jude, up off glass, won't go. Danan offensive rebound under the rim, and her attempt to pass out is turned over, and Titer has it for the Spartans. Warden now, guarded by Danan. Just about a minute gone by, still scoreless on James Harley Court. Warden guarded by Danan, dribble handoff. As you said, that is a major facet of this offense. Eshu gives the ball up, and another handoff of Jeremy. Eshu, or rather Titer with it. This is Eshu on the drive. 5 to shoot. Jeremy has a 13-foot pull-up and gets the roll off the front of the rim. 2-0 Tampa.
Interesting to watch how the Tritons continue to defend that. That dribble handoff becomes a natural screen, and they guarded it several times there. They had a window where the defender could go through, but also switch. They've got to make sure they communicate. That's a big part of being able to stop them defensively.
Danan with a high arcing 3 comes off the front of the rim and rebounded by the Spartans. Titer with it, bringing it ahead herself. 8:15 to go first quarter. 2-0 Tampa. Spartans with the basketball.
You can see right there, Nate, the window being left open with that dribble handoff. Understanding you got to give that player a chance to get underneath and get through that screen.
SU tosses back to Titer, 10 to shoot. Crossover into the lane, Jeremy with the left hand, left it short. Battle for the rebound, it is won underneath by Sanders, and she scores with the right hand under the rim. 4-0 Spartans.
Those are 2 possessions the Tritons have done pretty good, but then just getting able to finish the play. Second chance point's going to be a huge factor tonight's matchup.
Yalchin moves the ball along, Jude, right wing. Antilla behind the three-point arc, starts to dribble. Out Denon, right wing, step back, three-point try. Well short and rebounded by the Spartans. Transition the other way, ahead to Titer, in, and the layup spins off. And Yalchin on the retreat, able to grab it for Eckerd. Numbers if the Tritons hurry. Looks like it will turn into a half-court opportunity. Into the post, into the paint. Antilla, hook shot short, got her own miss. Turns right back around, rips the ball through, and gets tied up. Sanders forcing the jump ball, and the arrow gives it over to the Spartans with 7:07 to go, first quarter.
I think it's important right now for the Titans not to start pressing. They haven't done a terrible job. They've got a couple good looks from Denon and inside there. That's what they're going to want to do, but they don't want to start panicking because things haven't gone well here the first 3 minutes of the game.
Triton scoreless, 3 minutes in, 4-0 Tampa leading. SU guarded by Denon behind the arc, keeps the ball moving over to Warden. Coming to get it is Jeremy. She knocked down a mid-range jumper earlier. Jeremy gets it back, left of the lane, out for a three-point attempt, knocked down by Rachel Warden. It's 7-0 Spartans in front.
Good possession there by the Spartans. Nice inside out. Good inside out, and you know, Ada Yalchin, looked to double. That's a tough matchup inside, but when she doubled, she turned her back and a shooter, easy shot for Warden. So Triton just got to hang tough. There's going to be a game of runs, but 7 points early for the Spartans looks good for them offensively.
Yalchin looks at the basket from straight away, now drives left of the lane, out Jude, gets to the free throw stripe, hands back out Antilla. Behind the three-point line, her bounce into the post is kicked by Jeremy of the Spartans. 15 on the shot clock, 6:20 to go in the quarter, and Eckerd, trailing by 7, will send Yalchin to inbound underneath the basket. Bounces it in right corner, Johnson. Jude, Yalchin comes back to get it, 10 to shoot. Johnson, guarded tight, can't get the shot off. Antilla looking to pass off. Jude sees the shot clock at 4, doesn't have room. Johnson forces up the long three off the right side of the rim, no good, and rebounded by Warden. Here come the Spartans.
Yeah, you're seeing how good the Spartans are defensively. They've really got the personnel scouted well, playing really far off Army Antilla, which now makes those cuts and back doors much harder and difficult because they're clogging the lane.
Karma Jeremy almost turned it over to Yalchin, but received by Warden, hands it right back to Jeremy. 10 to shoot, drive by SU, trying to get around Denon, and draws the blocking foul. Denon seemed to have good position there, and perhaps the contact embellished somewhat by SU as she sort of twisted left.
And that's just good body control, just trying to use her athletic ability to get through. You're right. I mean, you're showing your hands, but sometimes you don't see what happens on the footwork there if their feet got tangled or something.
First free throw on the way, and pure. It's 8-0 Tampa over Eckerd, not quite midway through this first quarter.
The Tritons are 0 for 7 right now, 0 for 3 from downtown. So, well, once again, I think they're taking pretty good shots for the most part, but they've got to be able to take advantage when they get that ball inside. A couple early, baskets missed shots around the basket early on.
Second free throw good as well. It's 9-0, and the only Tampa starter who hasn't scored is their leading scorer for the season, Titer. 9-0 Spartans, 5.5 minutes to go in the first quarter. Johnson on the left wing with it for Eckerd. Jude trying to fight free off the ball, couldn't get open. Into the paint, Yalchin, hands out. Zoe Richards just into the game. Here's Johnson on the drive, and an athletic shot with a right-handed runner right to the lane. Gets the Tritons on the board. It's 9-2 Tampa.
Not an easy shot at all, but a good move, way to attack the basket. Zoe Richards in the game. It'll be interesting if she can get some baskets. She's been a very steady scorer off the bench inside for the Tritons all season.
Midway through the first quarter, SU gives it off. Warden has primarily run point, and an entry into the post too high and stolen away. Jude takes it for the Tritons the other way in transition. Toss inside, face guarded. Richards can't receive the pass, and the Spartans come back the other way 3-on-3. Karma Jeremy all the way with the left hand off glass. Got into the chest of Denon and pushes the lead back to 9 at 11-2, and also brings us to the timeout here thanks to a 30-second timeout called by the Tritons. 11-2 lead for the Spartans, and they've been able to run their offensive effectively using the dribble handoffs, and they haven't panicked late in the shot clock. They've gotten shots they've wanted over the course of time, and the Tritons on some of the early possessions have pressed a little, and it was pretty evident on that attempt to force it into Richards.
Yeah, and it's just a little late. I mean, at this point, too, you got to know time and situation. Just had a great possession with a nice basket by Chelsea and kind of a forced pass there. And, give credit to the Spartans. They know how to play defense. They're not seeing the ball, but their hands were up. And if Zoe caught that, she might have been too far under the basket. But more concerned about the defensive side. The Tritons, this is what makes this matchup so interesting. Spartans are notorious for trying to take 20, 25 seconds off the shot clock. So that's going to limit possessions for the Tritons as the game goes on. So that's what's going to make it important that they don't panic, but they've got to knock down those open shots when they have those opportunities as the game goes on.
It's two different philosophies of how to adjust to an inconsistent offense. The Tritons, when they've needed to try to get their offense jump-started this year, have usually done so trying to get the transition game ramped up. Tampa, a very methodical half-court offense, although their last bucket was in transition. Out of the timeout, we do see a substitution by Coach Honsinger as he gets Dallas Dickerson onto the floor.
And Denon with a few misses from outside, a couple turnovers. Just trying to calm her down. She's going to be an important factor as the game goes on, and she's capable of filling it up.
11-2, Tampa in front. Dickerson, her first touch, whips the ball around the arc to the left wing. Johnson, 12 to shoot, into the post. Jude, 2 dribbles, spins to the right hand, and scores with the right hand in the paint. 11-4, Tampa in front of Eckerd.
Pretty good defense, not really fouling, but good job by Casey Jude. But I like the play out of the timeout. Go inside and try to attack the basket.
Sanders tries to take Jude off the dribble, then hands off. SU has a slick handle, hangs on to the basketball, but has used her dribble, needs to find an outlet. Jude tips the pass, almost goes into the stands, out of bounds, stays with Tampa with 11 to shoot and 3:56 to go in the first quarter.
Good defense there by Chelsea Johnson. A little wrinkle there where she didn't go through the window but kind of jumped the screen and really caused some issues there for the Spartans, almost causing the turnover.
Late shot clock situation. Sanders draws the foul on the floor. It'll go out of bounds. Sanders using her dribble with 3 on the shot clock. And now the officials confer and switch it to a travel on Sanders. So the ball goes over to the Tritons instead. Good communication by the officials to sort out some conflicting signals on that play. Tritons with the basketball, down by 7 in the first quarter. Right wing Johnson tosses in over the top. Richards creates space and traveled, trying to get an angle for her shot.
I like it, though, going inside. That's now 2 possessions in a row, so you can see that's a point that Coach Hunsinger made. Get inside. I think the Tritons have an advantage with the quickness of Zoe Richards on the inside, but they got to be able to get that ball where she can handle it inside.
3.5 minutes to go first quarter. 11-4 Tampa. Pull-up jumper for Titer. Bangs it home from 12 feet and extends the Spartans' lead to 13-4. And all 5 Spartan starters have scored already.
That's a really solid move by Titer, going shoulder to shoulder and pull-up jumper. That's a tough play to defend. Really smooth on that.
Richards in the post. Spins back with a soft right hook to score.
Great reverse pivot, and I like the fact that they keep going on the inside, and that way they gave her the ball in a much better opportunity and a good reverse pivot.
Warden, 3-pointer for the Spartans, answers and extends the lead to double digits at 16-6. 2 3-pointers already for Warden. She has 6. 16-6 Spartans. Tritons briefly unsettled. Dickerson around the screen from Richards. Johnson straight on 3-point try. Spins off. Bodies hit the floor. 2 players and a cameraman on the ground as Jude was fighting for position underneath. And it looks like the foul here will go against the Spartans.
That's good physical basketball, two teams, two players really trying hard to box out there. But, you know, that's one of the things that Casey does a good job of. She gets really low, and that can really create an advantage for her when she's trying to crash the glass.
Foul is on Sanders for Tampa. Eckerd basketball underneath. Fresh shot clock. And right away, a jumper stuck by Richards off the inbounds from Yalchin to the elbow.
Confidence is starting to build for Zoe. Catch and shoot there. She had the gap. That's the difference between Army and Zoe in there. Zoe can hit that 17-foot shot a little more consistently, and so that's opened up the offense a little bit for the Tritons.
Three-pointer left short by SU. Tritons with the basketball down 16-8. 2:08 to go in the quarter. Yalchin gets it to Richards once again, this time just beyond the elbow. Jude low on the left wing. A three-point look for Yalchin. She takes it, spins off the rim, and is rebounded by the Spartans. Titer ripped it down.
Good execution, good pop, good shot. Just couldn't get it to fall. The Titans have got to get a stop here and try to limit any more points here this quarter.
SU turns the corner, passes out. Titer, left wing. A screen, Titer, 15-footer right at the free throw line. Plenty of iron, and Jude has the rebound when the shot finally comes off. Tritons with possession and 90 seconds to go in the half. Dickerson guarded tight by SU. Jude has some space to get ahead of steam. Out to Richards, tries the three. That won't go, and the rebound is controlled by Tampa.
Two good looks back-to-back, but just couldn't get it to fall. The Titans got to stay with it. Don't start getting discouraged. You're taking good looks. Those are really good shots there on those last two possessions.
Coming up on a minute to go, an illegal screen vacates the third three of the quarter for Warden as Emily Eshu was screening very hard and with some late shoulder lean to create that space for Warden.
I tell you, Warden, she's knocked down that shot, though, so she's feeling it a little bit. Triton's going to have to make an adjustment, make sure they can account for her on the defensive side. And she's knocked down some threes, and she's looked good doing it, so going to be important to make some adjustments, locate her on the defensive side.
Abby White-Eye onto the floor, replacing Johnson, seeing her first action. 50 seconds to go here in the first quarter, and the Tritons with the ball down by 8. Yalchin on the right wing, enters to Richards. She's been aggressive, hunting her shot, creates contact, missed the shot, got the rebound back, and is fouled. 2 free throws coming for Zoe Richards.
I really like what Zoe did there. Sometimes when the post players catch it in this offense, it's a read. They're going to go back door. That time, she all feels how the defense is playing her. A quick reverse rip through, and that foot speed that she has is really getting her to the basket and giving her some opportunity.
First free throw off the mark. Aaliyah Abney on the floor for Tampa to finish out this first quarter. Second free throw good for Richards. 16-9, Tampa in front. Spartans with the basketball and about a 10-second difference, shot clock to game clock.
Well, flex set right here for the Spartans.
Titer wanted to get the shot up, now kicks to the corner. Sanders with it. Out, Titer, three-point look from straight away, comes off the left side of the rim. Jude the rebound, and the Tritons a chance for the last possession with 16 seconds to go. Yalchin walks it across the center strike.
Get something going with about 8 seconds to go.
Down to the baseline, Yalchin picks up her dribble, out. Dickerson tries the three, won't go. White-Eye offensive board, out. Yalchin wide open in the corner, that won't go either. Comes off the rim, good looks. Would not fall for Dickerson and for Yalchin. 16-9 Tampa after one quarter. We step aside on the Eckerd Triton Sports Network.
This is the University of Tampa. Explore your dreams. Discover your talents. Get ready to invent, innovate, and be a leader. This is the University of Tampa.
After a slow start to the first quarter, the Tritons are down 7 after the first 10 minutes. Ryan Halstead, Nate March here, 16-9. Tampa leading Eckerd after 1 quarter of play. But the Spartans threw the first 9 points up there on the board. Tritons started to find their flow, but shots still not really falling as 3-point looks kept coming up empty for Eckerd.
0 for 8 that quarter, but some really good looks, especially that last one by Yalchin in the corner off the offensive rebound. They got to just keep shooting. Just, you're as good as your next shot. Shoot or shoot. So keep shooting. You're going to get these looks. I think they'll fall.
Dickerson, Richards, Yalchin, White-Eye, and Jude, the 5 on the floor, and a foul on the floor against Tampa as Dickerson was working off the dribble. That'll go against Aaliyah Abney, her first, and it'll be a baseline inbounds with 9:44 to go in the half.
They got a good look for Zoe on this, but it's a different set.
Yalchin briefly open off the inbounds from Jude, then a post entry is ripped away and stolen. Karma Jeremy stepping in front of Richards, and a whistle, and the shot clock appears to have never started on the change of possessions. Coach Jesse for Tampa unhappy that a potentially unsettled situation was blown dead, but officials wanting to get that clock corrected, and they do take 3 seconds off the shot clock.
On that last possession, they were trying to go right back into Zoe. It started igniting the offense, but a little too soon on that pass. You got to let her get set, and then throw that entry pass. The Tritons got to be better with the basketball, protect it, and make those good entry passes.
10 to shoot. Faith Sanders. Here's Karma Jeremy down the left side of the lane. Picked up her dribble deep. Out to Warden. Covered tight by Yalchin. Pull up 15-footer. Warden sticks it. She has 8.
She's played really well. Just taking opportunities and taking shots with her open. That time, pretty good defense, just better offense.
Warden averages 9 points per. She has 8 in this game. It's 18-9. Tampa in front. A minute gone by. Second quarter. Deep in the right corner, Dickerson, post entry, right block, Richards, out to White-Eye, receives the pass, moves it with 10 to shoot. Yalchin stares down Warden, gives it up, Richards tries to drive, turns her back to the basket, lefty hook on the turnaround, too hard, and Jeremy fights off 2 Tritons to grab the rebound for Tampa.
She's done a really good job rebounding. Not a lot of second chance opportunities here so far.
And Richards tips away the entry pass by Sanders, but then dribbled off her foot. And diving in the corner, Richards was able to save it and then needed to use a timeout to save possession.
Let's see if that timeout makes a difference now. I mean, typically it rolls into the media, but now this pressing now, I mean, taking good looks, but we said the time of possession is so key against the Spartans team. Tritons can control what they can on defense, got a rebound, box out, but offensively, they got to be a little bit crisper on their cuts. They've got to make sure they're going shoulder to shoulder on the back doors, and just let their post player get set, and then throw that that post pass. A couple turnovers is forced without being too quick in that entry pass.
Rachel Warden making things difficult for the Tritons. Yalchin was right inside her jersey to prevent her from having any room for the 3, and so Warden just dribbled right into her to create a little space and knock down the mid-range jumper on that last Tampa basket. Warden has knocked down 3 jumpers and had another one waved off after an illegal screen, so she is feeling her shooting touch early.
She's done a good job, 4 rebounds as well, and I mean they've been good looks. I mean, one on a kickback, on a double team kick out, another on a set play on the top. And then that last play where she just was able to get some dribble penetration, not bad defense, but got beat on first step. And she's already at her season average. So I think if you're asking Coach Jesse that he's getting 8 already from Warden, he'd be real happy and take it.
Yalchin brings the ball across for the Tritons. Dickerson started to move the ball left, instead enters into the high post. Richards, Yalchin calls for a screen, then dribbles away from it. Jude there on the right wing to get the pass, dribbles all the way to the baseline, got stuck there briefly. 9 to shoot. Dickerson has the ball poked away from behind. A fast break opportunity. Abney all the way in for the layup. Jude with a flyby, unable to disrupt the shot. It's 20-9 Tampa.
Good body control, good defense, a back tip. It's a good gamble because they're at the top and you're forcing them into the defense, so you're able to get the run out. So pretty good defense there
Jude tries a high arcing three, leaves it short from straight on, chased into the corner off the fingertips of Richards, looking for the offensive board, and instead Tampa gets possession with an 11-point lead and 7:41 to go in the half. Spartans in a good position thus far. No real foul trouble for either side. There's only been 3 personal fouls assessed in the game so far. Tighter, guarded by White-Eye, hands back. SU fresh back into the game off the bench. Here's Sanders moving the ball back up midway through the shot clock. Looks to execute that handoff and an illegal screen as Sanders kept on moving into a screen off the handoff and illegally screened Yalchin. That's 2 fouls on Sanders.
And you can see they run their offense pretty well, and Coach Jesse's making the argument that, well, wait a second, they're trying to dribble the handoff, but that's one of those things. It's a tough call, but I think it's the right call because you can't block the defense from there.
Good post move by Richards. Jude slips in for the offensive rebound and draws a foul underneath.
Strong rebound there by Casey Jude. I really like how she went after it aggressively. And, you know, you got to have something, make a positive play here to start kind of turning that momentum back towards Eckerd. And that could be, that type of play could help save a possession. Let's see what they do here off the inbounds.
Triton's down 11, bounce in underneath. White-Eye, defense right there. Denon back onto the floor. One dribble, then back to White-Eye. She tosses in, a good feed to Richards, but too far under the basket, and her kick to the corner is stolen away by Eshu, and the Spartans come the other way.
Great backside rotation by the Spartans, and then Zoe got off balance, tried that dangerous wraparound pass on the baseline, and a good rotation.
Right of the lane, Spartans with the basketball, double team comes. Ball on the floor and picked up by Denon for the Tritons. Eckerd back the other way, 5-on-4. Denon hesitates, pulls up for a left elbow jumper, too strong. White-Eye in for the offensive board, and it is stolen right away from her by Tighter. Pass ahead for Abney for the Spartans. Step through floater, good in the lane, and the lead is 13 for Tampa.
A good job on the transition, and Spartans are just making more plays right now. Triton's got to settle down, just try to get a good basket.
Abney has run the break well twice for Tampa. 22-9, Yalchin on the drive, draws the double team. Richards moves it along to left wing three. Still won't go. The outside shot's just not falling for the Tritons. Tampa with the basketball and a 13-point lead.
Another good look. Tritons now 6 minutes without a basket.
Tighter spinning into the lane, and she got hit going up for a short jumper. Hand on her elbow. 2 free throws coming. That'll go on Richards, her first personal. 5:44 to go in this half.
The momentum solely right now in possession in Tampa's direction, and right now they're just making a little extra plays, getting to loose balls. But defensively, you can see just how good the Spartans are defensively. They really rotate well, make things very difficult. And it's not pressure defense. It's just good rotation and good defensive stance, good basic technique in their defensive stances. And Triton's going to have to show some different wrinkles to try to get some better looks.
Tighter, 2 of 2 at the line. 24-9, Spartans in front of Eckerd. Tritons with the ball, 5:40 to go in the half. Johnson back into the game. She gets a quick trigger 3 off, an air ball, but stepping on the baseline underneath the bucket, Spartans player, and that should give it back to the Tritons. That is now 0 of 11 from three-point range for Eckerd.
When you have one of those nights, I think that time was a rush shot, and Chelsea's capable of knocking that down, but right now they got to get something to the basket.
Toss into Jude in the paint, 8 feet from the rim, uses her dribble, out to Richards. Now she needs help midway through the shot clock. Denon with it. Jude jabs left, drives right, flings up a shot, and is fouled.
And I think Coach Jesse has an opportunity there to, good movement towards the basket, good defense. Coach Jesse very unhappy about that call, but that's one of the things that Casey does a really good job. It's a typical move. She catches it and goes around but it's a similar call that they called against Eckert earlier when Denon had it.
It's a bailout foul, but when you get things moving towards the rim, some good things can happen, and the Tritons could use something like that going their way.
And I like the fact that it's a strong, aggressive take by Casey. I mean, right now things are struggling from the floor, struggling to get some shots to fall down from the outside. So the awareness to get it, to force something, and try to get to the line, get something positive happening. It's still in striking range, and they're in good shape.
First free throw off the right side of the rim, no good. Haley Howard checks in to give Yalchin a break. 5:20 to go in the half. Tampa leading by 15. One more free throw coming for Jude. As she makes the second, look easy as can be. And now some full court pressure, it looks like.
The first points of the quarter there for the Tritons. But I like the fact that they got Haley in there. A little different look maybe, and that's a forced turnover. But, that's what you need. You need some energy in those bench players. That's why it's so important that bench players are in the game, not focused on something else, but watching. This is an opportunity for Haley who can really provide a little energy and maybe change some things and change the momentum a little bit.
Tritons with the ball down 24-10 after the turnover at midcourt by Karma Jeremy. Dribbled off her own foot, trying to get around Denon. Denon goes down into the post, gets doubled, still able to shake free and scoop in a layup with the left hand.
And the double team never came, and she split it in a nice scooping shot, and that's one of those things. You got to commit. You can't be in no man's land, and that double team never got there, and good opening there for Denon.
Warden bounces the ball back out for Tampa. Spartans doubling up Eckerd 24-12. More than midway through the second quarter. Tighter with a one-handed flip pass out to Karma Jeremy with 10 to shoot. Here's Eshu, gets down to the elbow. Now a long baseline jumper in the air and good for Karma Jeremy.
Good offense and a good shot. Good job by the Tritons. Pretty good defense, but once again, you got the shot you wanted to give up, a 17-footer from the baseline.
4:10 to go in the half. 26-12 Tampa leading. Here's Johnson on the drive, draws contact. Her runner won't go, but two free throws coming for Chelsea Johnson.
And see the difference between that possession right there and when Chelsea first got it about 4 or 5 possessions ago. It was one pass, kind of not set with her feet, and she fired a three-pointer, lucked out that it was out of bounds off the Tritons, but that one was very similar to the nice tough run she made in the first quarter. Attacking the basket, forcing contact, and if you don't get the call, you get an opportunity to go to the line.
A very similar shot to the one she made in the first quarter. Makes the first free throw off the foul call. Dickerson back in. Jude gets her first blow. Second free throw good as well for Johnson. 26-14. Here's the full court pressure again. Howard, a near steal. Controlled, though, by Jeremy. She gets doubled in the backcourt, flings the ball ahead, and now numbers underneath the basket all alone. Lefty layup up and good for Lauren Cody.
And when you're going to press, you're going to give up easy baskets, but if you're trying to change the tempo, speed things up, that's okay too. So, what Zoe's got to do is she's got to commit either and just really, commit completely to that pass to the front court in the middle or hedge and just try to hope that the back tip comes from that first wave of defense.
Foul on the floor by Cody against Richards on the entry, but it's the 15th foul of the quarter. And so free throw up and good for Richards, and she'll be shooting one more, trying to cut into this Tampa lead, which is currently 28-15.
The Tritons can take advantage of 3:48 left to get to the line. They're in the bonus. Clock stops to get some easy shots up. The goal should be to try to get this under 10. And if they can get this under 10, I think they'd have weathered a pretty tough half offensively, but still be in the game.
Both free throws good. Press set up with 3:48 to go. Pass into the middle of the floor for Tighter, and now Eshu comes down the near sideline. Able to bounce it into the center circle, Karma Jeremy. Defense keeps on chasing. Three-pointer up for Tighter, three-pointer good for Tighter, and Eckerd sped Tampa up there. It just didn't matter. The shot went down.
That's the type of shot. That's the type of shot you're going to give up in the press. Just got to give credit to the Spartans. They knocked it down, but it's a fast shot. You see all of a sudden this press now has made Tampa shoot earlier in the shot clock.
Dickerson hits Triton's first three-pointer from straight on, just right in the center of the floor.
And
so three-pointers traded,
31-18. Sorry to cut you there, but it looked like she just had a toenail on the line, so a tough break, but still a good shot. Probably good to see.
Yeah, a long two was the call there. Down into the post. Molly Franson's first touchdown there. And her shot with the left hand won't go. Here comes Dickerson the other way. Finds Denon with room on the right wing. She hits the three, and that is the Tritons' first.
That is a big shot there, and I like it. It's in transition, and that's the type of mentality you have to have as a shooter. You struggled, you have it knocked down, but all of a sudden the energy is a little bit more for the Tritons. It started by putting in the press Haley Howard with some nice minutes, kind of giving a little spark, and now all of a sudden, back-to-back long-range shots. That's got to feel good for the Tritons. Give them some confidence as they finish up the second quarter. Now it's within 10. Let's see if they can chip away here some more.
31-21 the score. Spartans leading over Eckerd. This game taking place in St. Petersburg at Eckerd College. Ryan Halstead, Nate March here with you. It has been Tampa leading throughout after racing out to an early 9-0 lead. The Tritons finally starting to see some jumpers fall, though. The very long two from Dallas Dickerson, and then a three in transition for Yarden Denon.
I think the key, what you're seeing now, is that press is starting to increase the pace of the game. It's getting faster, and even though they're giving up some shots, can the Spartans, who don't like playing this, maintain that type of pace?
Eshu guarded high above the arc by Denon. 2.5 minutes to go in the half. Shakes free around a screen. Eshu hits the jumper and a foul called. And that may be a real break for the Spartans, because you could tell from Eshu's reaction, she thought they were going to whistle an illegal screen there, and instead they called a hit on the arm by Denon.
You know, one of those things with shooters, you've got to be able to follow through, and even though it didn't look like there was a lot of contact, if she can't follow through on that shot, that really creates a situation. So the Tritons lucked out by not giving up the three-point play.
Free throw wouldn't go. 2:20 to go in the half. 33-21 the score. Johnson, no look pass around the arc. Goes to Richards, then Denon in left block. Richards drew contact, couldn't finish the shot, got her own board, hangs with it under the rim, tries to kick out. Denon on the run, banks in the shot, and will shoot a free throw.
And that's good effort by Zoe Richards to stay alive. And when you get the basketball that deep, that's really offensive, the land of opportunity for the offense, and especially offensive rebounds. 2 tough rebounds there. Got away maybe with a 3-second, but a great cut by Denon.
Denon rolls the free throw in. She has 8 for Eckerd. 33-24, the press almost causing the 5-second violation. Now Warden stuck near the Eckerd bench, able to dribble away from pressure back into the middle of the floor. Warden still with the basketball, finally able to hand it off to Karma Jeremy. She dribbles all the way around, forces up a left-handed shot through 2 Tritons. She scores to extend the lead back to 11 for Tampa.
And Jeremy's been tough all night, just making some solid plays and scoring. Spartans are shooting a really high percentage tonight.
Off the drive, Dallas Dickerson hit the bottom of the rim with a scoop shot. Spartans back the other way, leading by 11. Cross-court pass, tighter. Up fake, and then slows things down with the handoff. Eshu with Johnson right on her. Kick to the corner. Here's Jeremy. She's used her big frame effectively. Bounce into the post. Franson, contact, and able to score through the defense of Zoe Richards. All 8 Tampa players that have seen the floor have scored, but Chelsea Johnson nails the 3 low on the right wing at the other end for Eckerd. 37-27, final minute of the half. Tampa with the basketball, 48 seconds to go. Eshu, this time Denon on her, crosses over, goes between the legs. Hand off Warden, over to Jeremy, looks to drive on Johnson. She crosses back to the right, stuck in the paint, kicks back out with 10 to shoot. Now Jeremy has it again on the baseline, pass tipped back to her, fadeaway jumper off the rim, rebounded by Dickerson. Final possession of the half as Howard pushes the ball up the near side.
Got to give credit to these players like Chelsea Johnson and Denon, struggling mightily from the floor for the first pretty much 15 minutes of the half, and last 5 minutes have really started to gain some confidence. Big possession here to end the half.
8 seconds. Howard on the drive, kicks it back out. Long 2 for Richards. Swish! Tampa does not get a final shot off, Eckerd with some momentum heading to the locker room, down 37-29, but trailed by as many as 15 in the half. Got it down to 8 at the break.
Love the energy right now. The Tritons are coming off the bench. I mean, that was not an easy half for them by any stretch. They held scoreless for 6 minutes from hitting a field goal, and they only had 9 with about 5:40 left in this half. They finished with 20 points in the last 5 minutes, knocked down some shots. The energy level much better than what you saw in pretty much like the 7-minute mark there. So a great job staying in it, staying focused, changing the energy and the pace. I think was a nice coaching change and a decision by Coach Hunsinger.
Richards with 9, Denon with 8, Johnson with 7 for the Tritons. We'll be back in about 10 minutes with a more thorough recap of the half. It is halftime in St. Petersburg. Tampa leads Eckerd 37-29 on the Eckerd Triton Sports Network.
Being a champion takes more than skill, more than endless drills, more than using your head. Being a champion takes the heart to give it your all, the agility to thrive from any angle, and the relentless drive to be the best. Welcome to Division II, where the pursuit is yours to create, and the question isn't, can you do it? It's, will you?
We can stop to make sure someone is okay.
Get in the way and disrupt the situation.
Codify an authority.
Or walk them home safely.
We can change the language around rape.
We can make campuses safer for our teammates, our friends, and our classmates.
We cannot be bystanders.
Taking action isn't always easy, but it's on us
to intervene.
Because we can. Learn more and take the pledge at itsonus.org.
At the half, the University of Tampa Spartans lead the Eckerd College Tritons 37-29 inside the MacArthur Center at Eckerd College. Ryan Halstead, Nate March here with you on the Eckerd Tritons Sports Network. It's a first half that Eckerd weathered more than anything else, but able to finish with a flourish to get the score down to single digits. And all things considered, I think the Tritons probably all right with only trailing by 8 right now.
Absolutely. I think that to be down single digits after the way they start off shooting that half, is a win for them. Look at the stats outside of the shooting percentages, fairly even. Both teams, one advantage for the Tritons that I think kept them in the game was they are rebounding very well on the offensive glass. 8-1 advantage, but 65% shooting for the Spartans compared to 33% for the Tritons. Tritons can get that up and reverse that trend. I think they can get back in it, tie it, and maybe take the lead.
A very efficient shooting half for the Spartans from UT. 15 of 23 from the floor, 3 of 5 from three-point range. That methodical offensive pace for Tampa. They were able to not only get shots, but they hit some tough ones in that half. So I think Eckerd doesn't have too much to be concerned about on the defensive end. I mean, they stayed within themselves. Tampa just, like I said, made shots, especially Karma Jeremy.
Had 3 or 4 shots at the end of the shot clock, and, shots that I think Coach Hunsinger would have given up. The 17-footer on the baseline, kind of a driving last-second shot. I think, overall, I agree with you. They just hit shots, and the Tritons gave up the shots I think they were comfortable giving up. I think the key is going to be is making sure they continue to rebound well. But, you got to give credit. The Spartans were very efficient offensively that first half.
Leading the way for the visitors from Tampa, Rachel Warden, 8 points on 3 of 3 shooting from the floor, including a pair of three-pointers. I mentioned Jeremy with 8 points on 4 of 6 shooting. Was not a particularly assertive half for Shaza Titer, but she was able to grab 7 points as well. And of course, for the Tritons, Zoe Richards came off the bench and really hunted her shot. She has 9 points. Yarden Denon able to find a couple shots late in the half to finish with 8. Chelsea Johnson hit a late 3 there in the final minute and a half of the second quarter and finished with 7. Tampa, all 8 players they put out there on the floor able to get in the scorebook, so that is the sort of balanced scoring attack that the Spartans certainly were hoping for. A reminder that after this one concludes, we will have the men's game as well between Eckerd and Tampa here on the Triton Sports Network. So looking forward to a long night ahead of Sunshine State Conference basketball here in St. Petersburg.
The Tritons really going to have to come out. I think these first few minutes are key. Now, one of the keys that I thought changed the complexion of the half was Coach Hunsinger going to a full-court press. That changed the pace. The Spartans want to shoot late in the shot clock, and once they put that press on, they were a little bit faster possessions, and then the Tritons were able to push the ball a little bit more. I think that's a pace that they're going to want to try to maintain. Now, give credit to the Spartans. When that pace started increasing, they knocked down some shots. They got a couple layups, but the press is intended to hurry up the shot selection. So it'll be interesting to see with some success in changing the pace of the game. Does Coach Hunsinger stay with it, or was that just used to get it back under 10?
And it'll be interesting to see that press directly coincided with Haley Howard coming into the game. So without a Yalchin coming back in, Yalchin, of course, not to say they can't press with her in either. She's a ferocious half-court defender, but yes, it would be interesting to see if that was a change of pace tactic or something the Tritons will stick with as Tampa begins the second half with the basketball in the black uniforms going from right to left down the floor. Denon aggressive immediately defensively against Emily Eschew, but Eschew able to maintain possession for the Spartans. Faith Sanders at the free throw line kicks the ball out to the left wing for Titer. Guarded by Johnson, entry inside, that's Jeremy, and she's fouled from behind. She was able to get Richards on her back, and then Jude tried to cut in front. It is interesting to note that Zoe Richards begins this half on the floor. Jude was the one whistled for the foul.
Well, Zoe gives the Tritons a little bit more consistency around as an offensive threat. Army's a bigger body, can rebound well, so Zoe's got to have to play defense if she's going to earn some of these minutes here starting the second half.
Tighter handling the basketball, now SU. Midway through the shot clock, 37-29, Tampa in front. Tighter drives to the free throw line extended, now to the free throw line, hands back out, SU. Almost had it stripped away by Chelsea Johnson, hits the floor. Karma Jeremy, one dribble, puts up the jumper, whistles blowing, and a 3-second violation. Emily Eshu, after she tripped into the paint, never left it.
Some good defensive principles there. Good hedge and recover by Zoe Richards, and she's going to be the one the spotlight's on. She's getting some minutes for her offense, but she's got to be able to play defense.
Chelsea Johnson's three off the mark, long carom, corralled by Tampa. A minute gone by, third quarter, neither team able to put it in the bucket on their first possession. Rachel Warden guarded by Yalchin. Drive by Tighter, down the lane, Johnson right on her. Soft shot, rolls off. Offensive rebound, Karma Jeremy up with the left hand to score for the Spartans.
A good defense, but the Tritons kind of assumed that was going in, and that rattled out, and then there's no rebounding. So another second chance point. But they can't give up when you're trying to get back into this game.
Chelsea Johnson on the drive, fadeaway runner, left it short. This is Jeremy. She's in double figures and gets tripped up from behind. Foul called against Eckerd. 8:22 to go, third quarter. Spartans by 10, and that foul on the floor against Chelsea Johnson, her first.
Offensively, I'd like the Tritons to try to get a little more flow in their offense. Get some backdoor reads. Try to do a screen and pop. Where one goes backdoor, one pops. You know, Adi Yalchin's going to have to be a scorer a little bit more and look for her shot. She's capable of knocking down that outside shot. So getting her going is another key point that the Tritons are going to need in the second half.
Yalchin 0 of 2 from the floor, only one assist. The Spartans have really forced the ball out of her hands quite a bit. Warden looks to drive on Yalchin, then hands it back out on the drive. Faith Sanders, offensive foul, wave off the bucket. Jude draws the charge.
Good defense there, and you can see it coming. And what you're seeing is there's no threat for the outside shot, but you can't give up that much. You got to be able to move your feet if you're going to give up that type of a driving lane. And that time, good anticipation by Casey Jude. Big defensive stop here. Triton's got to score now.
Lob inside, knocked away. Denon able to keep possession for the Tritons. Leaves a shot in the lane short. It comes out to Yalchin. Quick trigger for Denon. That won't go. Rebounded by the Spartans. 3-on-2 the other way if they hurry. Eshu kicks out, long two in the air for Tighter. That's short off the back iron. Jude with the rebound for the Tritons. A couple frenetic possessions, and it may continue. Yalchin looked as though she may pull up, gets it to Johnson, kicks to Jude, has a lane, bounces down to Richards, who is tackled from behind, and we'll see where the call goes here. There's no foul called there, just out of bounds off Richards.
It looks like the ball was never firmly caught by Zoe. She couldn't quite get that possession as she was falling out of bounds, and then the contact happened afterwards. A tough break. I think the Tritons overpassed that time.
Sanders, who is playing with 3 fouls, called for the carry, dribbling from right to left, far side to near side. 7:23 to go, third quarter, 39-29. Eckerd trailing by 10, and this is starting to feel a little like Saturday's game where the Tritons came out of the locker room and couldn't find the bottom of the net. Here's Johnson. Guarded tight on the right wing. Yalchin still not really looking for her shot. Jude perhaps looking for hers on this drive. Leans in, off glass. A strong move to score.
Might have dragged that pivot foot, but a good, smart heads-up play trying to get to the basket. I really like what Casey, she has that sense when we need a basket, they got to go after it. The basket, and good drive there by Casey.
39-31, entry pass to Sanders, passes to Karma Jeremy at the left elbow, out Warden, 3 in the air, 3 in the net.
And just a total backbreaker. Good defense, good closeout, but there's Warden again, shooting unbelievable tonight, knocking down their third 3. Great job by her staying in the game.
42-31 Tampa, Tritons with the basketball, 6.5 minutes to go in the quarter. Johnson steps behind the screen, puts up a 3. Karem's high in the air. Jude gets the rebound, fouled, and the shot fouled.
That's a huge offensive rebound for Casey Jude. And now to have a chance to answer that 3 that Warden just made really weathers the storm. I mean, you play that defense and you just see that shot go in. It can be just deflating, but great job by Casey Jude. Stay with it. big opportunity here to stay with it. They want to stay within 10 and start chipping at that lead.
Jude finishes the three-point play, 42-34. Tampa with the lead. Here's the full court pressure. Dickerson into the game for Eckerd before the free throw. Tampa able to break the press. Warden gives it up. Karma Jeremy guarded by Richards. Jeremy spin move into the paint. Hard right-handed shot. Comes up and off the rim. Jude long pass ahead for Eckerd to Dickerson off her fingertips and out of bounds.
And that's where now we see the opposite. Too risky. You got to get a basket. You're getting this back to 8. You have an opportunity to maybe get this to 5 or 6. Yes, Dallas was way ahead of it, but that's such a tough catch and layup, especially in traffic.
8-point game, Tampa leading with the basketball. Warden in double figures. Step back three, right wing. Off the front of the rim. Rebound is secured for Eckerd by Richards.
Rare miss, but that time Warden didn't have it on a catch and shoot. She just went and shot it off the dribble. So a little bit of a different look for her.
Richards almost had the ball poked away. Now she does. Jeremy got a hand in there. Ahead of the pack. Here comes Sanders down the lane. 3-on-2. Up off glass. Sanders gets the rebound back. Header shot tipped away from behind. Richards got a hand in there.
Good job by the Tritons. I thought they were going to get beat that time, but they stayed in it and stayed within themselves. Now they've got to take advantage.
Denon from NBA range off the front of the rim, and the rebound comes out long to Emily Eshu for Tampa. And now Titer has a lane to the basket in for an easy lefty lay-in to extend the Spartans' lead back to 10.
The pace of play is where the Tritons want it, but they can't take those types of shots, especially early in the shot clock. Make the Spartans work a little bit and try to get a better look.
Dickerson fakes left, starts right, then an errant pass toward Richards, makes her retreat to receive it. Midway through the shot clock, and the Tritons unsettled with 4:45 to go, third quarter. Yalchin around the screen from Richards. Still has the basketball. Low pass back out. Zoe has it. Denon, long left wing three. Off the back iron, secured by Titer. Another run out opportunity as Titer in all the way with the left hand for another fast break bucket. The Spartans lead by a dozen, and Paul Hansinger needs timeout.
Looks like they called an injury timeout. Yalchin looks like she landed on an ankle funny, maybe stepped on a foot. She's gingerly walking on that ankle, so see if she ends up that stoppage of play, though, will move to the media. So let's see if Haley gets checked back in the game while the trainer checks out Yalchin. But tough break. I mean, the Tritons did everything they needed to do defensively to give them an opportunity, and then some just once again cold shooting, and then also I would say, I think that they could have gotten some better shots on a couple of those possessions. Just can't quite get over. They're spending all this energy. Makes it really tough.
Yarden Denon has range, but two long three-pointers. One was late in the shot clock, but the other was pretty early in it. Both turned into long rebounds that eventually led to 3-on-2 runouts for tighter lay-ins. And sure enough, Haley Howard's coming back in to replace Ada Yalchin here.
Once again, 2 of 18 from three-point range. I've seen some cold nights that the Tritons have had, but this is such an uncharacteristically cold shooting night, and I think they've taken some good looks, but I think there's probably been about 4, 5, 6 of those that have been rushed or too far out, and they've got to make sure they're most effective when they can get an inside-out kick, and they have their shooters spotting up, and they haven't gotten a lot of those tonight. So a lot more off the dribble or catching from a flare than necessarily getting it inside or getting it in the lane and finding their spot-up shooters.
4:27 to go in the third quarter. Eckerd has the basketball. Denon, Howard, Jude, Dickerson, and Richards, the 5 on the floor for Eckerd. Down by a dozen. Dickerson over to Jude. Howard hasn't looked for her shot at all. Richards, behind Jude's screen, puts up a straight-on three off the back rim hard and secured by Tampa on the board. Eshu brings it into the forecourt and a 12-point lead. Spartans looking to extend it. Eshu handles the rock, left-handed bounce pass, down around into the left corner, post entry. Cody kicks it out midway through the shot clock. Sanders with a high jumper caroming up. And Howard able to take the rebound off the fingertips of Casey Jude and move the ball ahead. Dickerson doesn't have a look, so tosses down into the post. Richards looks to swing it back out. 3:35 to go. Eckerd trying to cut into a 12-point deficit. Denon off the drive, gets stuck in traffic. Jude thought about the three on the right wing, but couldn't get it off. So back down into the post, under the basket, turnaround righty hook for Richards to trim the lead to 10.
Good footwork by Zoe Richards. She got it all the way underneath the basket and then reverse pivot back out. A good finish. Tritons needed that basket.
Faith Sanders has it for the Spartans. 10-point lead for Tampa, 46-36. Into the post, tipped away, nearly stolen, now stolen by Eckert. Denon has it, 4-on-4 the other way. No rush for the Tritons. Now acceleration, righty flip up and off the rim. Rebound to Sanders for Tampa.
Tough break, but good anticipation by Casey Jude. Just quite can't get it to fall. Another good take, though, by Denon. That would have been huge. Cut it to 8.
SU hesitation dribble, stripped on her way to the basket, jump ball, arrow, gives it to Eckert, and for the first time in quite a while, Abby White-Eye checking into the game. Well, we'll see if White-Eye can provide the spark that she has at times. This hasn't been a game that has really favored what she brings to the table, as you know, a lot of it has been sort of more of a half-court game. She's a gazelle up and down the floor, but maybe she can add some shooting here as Eckert looks for anyone to knock down a jumper. Midway through the shot clock, Jude into the paint. Nice pass to the double team. Nope, couldn't get it all the way to Richards. Good thought, but it's stolen by the Spartans. Tighter kicks out. Cody moves it. SU looks at the rim from three-point range, but backs the ball out instead.
Good discipline by the Spartans there. They didn't rush that shot. Now they're going to try to get something better.
Tighter with a leaner in the lane, won't go. Rebound for Jude. Howard pushes it up the near side. Dickerson behind the three-point arc. Here's Jude, straight away, gets the three.
And the trail is always the dangerous person on the transition, and a nice find. And I like the fact that Casey took that shot. She passed one a couple possessions earlier, and you're going to have to keep shooting this to get yourselves back in the game. Big-time shot there.
Casey Jude, a senior leader for this team, 11 points on the night. Lead down to 7 for Tampa, nearly a tie-up there. SU tries the three, comes off the right side of the rim. Richards with a good box out to get the rebound for Eckert. And now Howard looks to push again, has Jude out in front. Instead, hands back to White-Eye. Dickerson starts dribbling left to right across the floor. Handoff Jude, thought about the jumper. Richards has a chance at a lefty scoop, wouldn't go, and the rebound comes to Tampa.
Nice defense by Cody. She went elbows to ears and really made herself about 7.5 feet instead of her 6'2" frame.
Just 1 minute to go in the third quarter. Tampa leads 46-39. Tighter into traffic. Instead of the leaner, she tosses it back out instead. Warden over to SU, right wing with 10 to shoot. Shuffled her feet, but able to get her dribble down just in time. Dumps into the post. Nearly out for a steal. Jude knocks it out of bounds with 3 seconds on the shot clock.
Triton's defense is starting to really clamp and down, and they've held Spartans to 9 points this quarter. So finish out this play. Long shot, probably a long rebound. They got to box out here.
Pass comes in, Rachel Warden, 2-1, shot up off the back rim, rebound for Dickerson. Here comes the Tritons, down 7. Johnson has a pass swatted right back into her hands on the left wing, tosses in, Richards right back to work in the post with the right hand.
That's a solid move inside again. Zoe Richards is paying off the move to go with Zoe for the third quarter. She's been scoring and rebounding well.
The sophomore from New Zealand with 13 points off the bench. 5-point game, as close as it's been in a while. Final possession of the half, potentially. Warden bounces off, Tighter, guarded by Dickerson. It throws it into the post too high. Chance for Eckert to get a shot. Chelsea Johnson, half-court heave off the right side of the rim. But the Tritons, as close as they've been in quite some time, 46-41. Spartans lead at the end of 3 as we step aside briefly on the Triton Sports Network.
This is the University of Tampa. Explore your dreams. Discover your talents. Get ready to invent, innovate, and be a leader. This is the University of Tampa.
10 minutes to go. Tampa starts with the basketball to begin the fourth quarter. 46-41 Spartans. Ryan Halstead, Nate March, here with you from the campus of Eckerd College.
Kind of like what the Tritons did. They held the Spartans scoreless for the last 4.5 minutes, cut it to 5. Do they have enough for offensive scoring punch to be able to get the lead? They've done it on defense. They'll get back in the game because of defense, but this is going to be a big quarter offensively for the Tritons if they want to get back in.
And the Tritons may be without Ada Yalchin. Howard stays in to start the fourth quarter. Yalchin came off after landing awkwardly late in the shot clock. Eshu gives it off. Warden. Howard right on her, falling to the right. Shot short. Dickerson has the rebound. Tritons can make it a one-possession game early in the fourth quarter. Johnson down the lane, kicks out Howard. A shifty move. Toss up with the right hand, but an offensive foul by the freshman Howard.
Good backside rotation. They put the pressure on. I thought she was going to look for a pass to Zoe, and that's a pretty solid defensive play. Once again, two really outstanding teams that rotate as well as I've seen. They really did a good job. That backside rotation came in, and Haley just a little too much and too aggressive.
Now the officials conferencing, not sure about what. 9:21 to go in the game. Eckerd is down by 5, and the signal there from Karma Jeremy is that one of the officials signaled a blocking foul there on Howard's shot instead of a charge. And the official is still conferring. I don't think either coach has realized yet what is going on. Now both have their gazes down toward this right end of the floor.
And Coach Hunsinger kind of agreed with it. So, I mean, you know, I mean, if it's a reverse, they did not reverse it. So they're going to stay with it. I think if they really reversed it, Coach Jesse really has quite the ability to work the refs. And so I think you would have seen him in a different element of emotions there.
I thought there was a chance that they would let that go as a no call with just kind of, incidental contact after her throwing the shot up. But, with the whistle there, I think you kind of had to go offensive foul the way they did. And Coach Hunsinger wanting an explanation about the conversation and getting one now. But it is Tampa basketball after, lengthy non-timeout layoff here in the fourth quarter.
And this is kind of, it's kind of helpful in some ways to the Tritons because some of these players are starting to get long in the minutes and give them it's going to be a long quarter, so get some energy, and they're really clamping down defensively.
9:11 to go. 5-point lead for Tampa. Jeremy thought about the long two, instead gives up to Sanders. Low on the left wing toward the corner. Brings the ball back up high with 10 to shoot. A toss inside, deflected and stolen. Eckerd has it. Dickerson, cross court. Johnson taking it all the way in, hangs and cannot hit. She looked to avoid the contact instead of taking it right in. And then White Eye compounds things by committing a foul.
A good job by the Tampa defense not to allow any sort of Euro step or step through. And that time I'd almost like to have seen Chelsea just spot up, pull up real quick. She got beat to the spot, but that time little just out of control, couldn't quite get. That would have been a huge basket.
It was an in-between decision, either pull up and shoot the J or continue in. Instead tried a tough leaner and it would not fall. Still a 5-point lead for the Spartans. Stays a tighter on the drive, scores with the right hand as she was able to get White Eye on her hip.
Good crossover and the stunt recover, couldn't get there on the wing, so open lane to the basket, good finish.
Tighter, up to 13 points in the game, 48-41. Tampa with the lead. Final score in the first meeting for these teams was 48-44. 3-point won't go for Richards, and a reaching rebound is grabbed by Eshu for the Spartans.
Good, another good look. Just couldn't get to fall out. Rim outs tonight. That's what makes it a little bit more frustrating.
Only 3 made threes in the game on more than 20 attempts for the Tritons. Eshu jab steps with the left foot. White Eye guarding Tighter again. 7 to shoot. Tighter right-handed pass, tossing out. Sanders on the drive, got around Johnson and scores.
And you can just see the patience, the methodical and just really well executed offense of just drawing down that shot clock and then be able to open up a driving lane.
Lob inside, knocked away, out of bounds. Under the basket, Tritons keep possession with 7:24 to go. And you know Coach Honsinger, ideally, he wouldn't like to force Richards into this many consecutive minutes. Also, probably doesn't love having two freshmen on the floor right now in the fourth quarter. Good entry, though, by Howard to Dickerson to draw a foul. And that'll be 2 free throws coming for Dallas Dickerson and a pair of big potential points at the free throw line to try and cut into a 9-point deficit.
You make a great point. Right now, you're looking at 4 starters on the bench right now for the Tritons. So give credit to this bench mob that's come in and really made this a game and kept the Tritons from really kind of collapsing. But at the same time, at what point does Coach Hunsinger make that decision? Do I go with my starters or do I stay with this kind of sparky, bench mob?
Both free throws good. 50-43. Sanders able to beat the pressure. Defense nearly recovering, but Howard winds up committing a reach-in foul.
And that's not a bad foul. You're going to have to potentially be in some foul situations at some point for the bonus if it's got to be free throws. That time, I think very lucky not to get that back tip steal. Faith Sanders just kind of dribbled in the right direction to draw that contact.
Nobody in real bad foul trouble on either side. Sanders has 3 for the Spartans. She's the only one with 3. 7 minutes to go in the game, 7-point game. Sanders kicks out. Titer got White-Eye to lunge, dumps down onto the baseline. Jeremy's shot comes off the rim. White-Eye with the rebound. Now, White-Eye's been a bit jumpy a couple times there against Titer on defense. Didn't wind up costing the Tritons this time. They have a chance to cut into a 7-point game. Dallas Dickerson's jumper won't go. Ball deflected out toward midcourt. Howard goes to track it down. Dickerson open, puts up a right wing 3, still won't go, and Sanders the rebound for Tampa.
Good hustle. They got another second chance opportunity, and just one of those like, this one's got to go. Just couldn't get it to fall.
Rachel Warden, good find, left-handed lay-in for Jeremy. Warden drew the whole defense into the paint, and then a soft bounce pass down to extend the lead to 9. And Coach Honsinger will use a 30-second timeout with 6:09 to go. And the Tritons need to put together one more run if they're going to win this game. They've hung around, but how many shots would have been the one that could have really put them, the chances when they were down 5, the 3-pointer a moment ago, down 7 on the second chance that spun off for Dickerson. Just haven't been able to get that big shot to finish the deal.
And they haven't, and their defense has been there. Their defense has been there, but they just can't get those shots to fall. And they've had some good looks, but 11 offensive rebounds have kept them in, getting more opportunities. They've gotten 9 more shots than the Spartans, but once again, it's you see these shooters who are more than capable of knocking consecutive ones, and they just can't quite get it to fall.
3 of 23 from the 3-point range are the Tritons. Tampa trying to snap a 4-game losing streak. With 6:09 to go, Spartans in a good position with a 9-point lead and a very stout defense. Once again, just about 6 minutes to go here in the game as teams come back onto the floor. And Ryan, we were just getting some explanation on that officials conference a moment ago. What was the situation?
So they basically said back on that offensive foul that it wasn't an offensive foul. It was more of a push and a block because the defense player came back and the guard actually landed and the ball was released. So it is an offensive foul, but at the same time, it was more like the defensive had kind of gotten a hand on it and the Haley Howard kind of went through. So one of those funky plays, but appreciate the explanation from referee Marshall Shield.
Chelsea Johnson lost the handle on the drive across the baseline. Under 6 minutes to go, Tampa with the ball and a 9-point lead.
One of the frustrating things in a timeout perspective, you draw up a play, this is what we want to get, and then you turn the ball over and just trying to kind of press a little bit.
Ada Yalchin returned to the game during the timeout. The senior leader back out there. And Sanders has her shot. come too high off the glass. I think that Richards may have deflected it on the way up.
That's a great job. She did it with her left hand. You know, your right hand dominated, but using your left hand on defense, that was a great rotation by Zoe Richards.
Yelchin gets it to Richards. Richards will try the three, and she was out of rhythm, missed it off to the left, and now the three-point shot's starting to seem a little forced, but good, smart play by Dickerson to force a tie-up and get the ball back on the rebound attempt.
That's a heck of a play by Dallas to tie it up, and they've been quick with the jump ball, but that one in favor of the Tritons. After one earlier, I thought the Tritons got, it was a little too quick.
5:15 to go, so the arrow will favor the Spartans for now. Richards in the post this time with the basketball, gets doubled, bounces the ball out. Johnson, and a 3-second violation. And so the Tritons turn it right back over at the midway point of the fourth quarter.
And there was a little bit of a slow developing post play, and those are the hardest ones when you're right in the middle of the lane. When you want to do those combo moves, it's usually better when you're on the block. That time tough trash, so he's got to catch and kind of go up quicker, make a quicker decision.
Dribble handoff by Warden. Over to Stasa Titer. Emily Eshu, right of the lane. Brings it back out. Clock favors Tampa and the way they run this offense. Jude pokes the ball away from Sanders. Sanders gets it back, comes down the lane, misses the shot. Rebound for the Tritons. Unsettled transition situation. Chelsea Johnson out to Jude. Now Yalchin thought about the three, drives instead. Moves it back out. Richards, Johnson, right wing, three in the air. Missed it short off the right side of the rim, and Warden tracks down the board for Tampa.
I thought that was in. It looked good from here, but once again, shot with good contest. The Spartans do a great job contesting everything, and that time they finished the play by tracking down that long rebound.
Coming up on 4 minutes to go, 52-43, Tampa leading Eckerd. Eshu bleeding the clock. 5 to shoot. Eshu hands back. Titer, three, line drive, good, and that could be a dagger at the pace this game has been played.
And once again, they said they stepped on the line, called it a 2-point shot, but still 11-point lead in this.
And looked to me like she clearly had both feet on the men's line.
I did too. I mean, there's the two different lines. I think you're right, Nate, because I looked at it and I said that could be a 3-point shot there.
Dickerson's jumper off. Richards battles for the board, but it's won by Warden. Warden with a spin move around out of Yalchin to get it into the forecourt. And now Tampa bleeding the clock again. Warden bounces the ball down onto the baseline. Back around. Titer, three on the way. It bounced up and hit the shot clock. That'll give the ball back over to the Tritons. Final media timeout comes with 3:10 to go. Tampa with an 11-point lead. And Eckerd trying to come up with that last big push, but at this point, if the threes won't fall, it's going to be awful hard to erase this deficit.
Yeah, it's 11-point lead. They cut it down to 5 and just couldn't get some shots to fall. Now, in this type of situation, you don't have a hot hand that you can go to. So you got to kind of trust your instinct. You got to kind of trust what you know of your team in practice and understand who can be in there. I think the non's got to be there. You know Chelsea Johnson, Dallas Dickerson are both capable of the long shot. I don't think you have to necessarily settle for threes at this point, but you're going to need a couple to fall here in the last 3:10 to really cut into this lead. A lot of energy. They're going to have to get stops. I would have to say Tritons, in order to get a W, are going to have to be able to score about 15, 18 points here in the last 3 minutes. That's a tall order considering how they've been shooting tonight.
3:10 to go in the game. Of course, after this one, Ryan and I will have the call of the men's game between Eckerd and Tampa as well. The Tritons trying to continue their Sunshine State Conference momentum heading into Saturday's critical matchup of co-league leader Barry University. And that is a game that certainly, that's one of those games. That's not just a big Sunshine State Conference matchup. That's one of those games that all across Division II should be getting a lot of attention.
And it's a tough stretch. That's what makes this conference so tough. But just got clarification. The women's, and you can see it's painted because there are high school games that do get played here in Eckerd College in the area. So the high school line is different. The men's and women's line is the same at the college level. So that was a two. She definitely stepped inside. But at that one, that's the three you needed.
Finally goes down, and Boy, that was a real brain, just myth on my end, because I certainly know that the three-point line is the same for men's and women.
I'm looking at it too, and I swear it sounded right. And I was out of my high school basketball game last night working our game, and we had a bunch of threes. But of course, it's painted, but it's painted because of the multi-versatile use of this facility.
Well, ignore the silly broadcaster, and Tampa was just barely able to get the timeout there to save possession in a 8-point game after Eckert got the three, slapped the press back on, and there is life with 2:44 to go. Meanwhile, Zoe Richards, after that three, has 16 points to lead all scorers.
Well, you look at this situation here. Coach Hunsinger's upset because a timeout's called, and this is where timeouts are such a tough thing, because all the action's right here in the back court, but you've got your lead official. It's really moving it to be the lead spot, who's right next to the Tampa bench. Anyone can call a timeout, so sometimes you're focused on the action, you don't hear what's happening behind you. Ray Lewis that time very, very sure that the timeout was called by Coach Jesse and saved the possession there.
So Tampa inbounding on the baseline. Karma Jeremy able to get it in to Sanders. Sanders splits a double team and a 10-second violation. Tampa not able to get it across. Coach Jesse arguing that she was over when the call was made.
So the Tritons get a break, and even though they didn't get the turnover and the timeout was called, they get an opportunity here to get it back to 5 or 6. Two-possession game.
Denon, White-Eye, Yalchin, Jude, and Richards, the 5 on the floor. Midway through the shot clock, Jude on the drive, forces up the shot and will get 2 free throws, trying to cut it to a 2-possession game here.
Love the aggressive take. One of those things. That's such a tough move to be able to go to your left and fading away and shoot with your left. That time she took it across her body and then drew the foul going up with her right arm. Usually what you don't teach in fundamental basketball, left side, left hand, but that time the right hand drew the foul, and big opportunity here for the Tritons. And once again, get this to 6 with 2:21. It's a 2-possession game. You got plenty of time.
First free throw good. Second one rolls down. 6-point game, presses on.
And that's a quick 5 points. That's a very fast 5 points.
Near steal in the corner, but Jude stepped on the end line. But now the Spartans will have to inbound in a very, very tough spot down there near the corner.
Give credit, and now that's a great opportunity to try to draw a trap. They did not have it all the way, so I think the Spartans kind of luck out there, because I think you're right, Nate. I thought they were going to push her over.
I thought she should have been on the sideline there in the corner. Getting to inbound on the end line. And the press is broken as Sanders gets it across right here in front of us at midcourt.
And I do like this lineup with Haley Howard and Audie Yalchin. Add some quickness and ball handling to get the ball up the court.
Foul called against Howard there. That's tough midway through the shot clock. That puts 16 seconds back up there.
And I think, you got it, but at the same time, Haley Howard's not going to in foul trouble. You're going to maybe have to get in the bonus. So this now, you don't want to foul in this possession. You got to draw it out, try to get a stop. You know you're going to get it with about 140, 138. See if they can get a stop and a rebound.
Faith Sanders on the dribble, and a travel called against Stasa Titer. 1:51 to go, and the Tritons have it down 6. Now here is White-Eye back in for Howard, trading offense for press defense.
Now you've been pressing all game to get some shots. You know you've got a capable outside. Let the outside shot come to you on an inside out. If not, attack the basket, get it inside.
White-Eye off the dribble, moves it back out. Here's Denon. Dribbling down the right side of the lane, floats a pass back out for Jude. She starts left, comes back right, got the shot up off glass. 90 seconds left, it's a 4-point game.
And that's really good defense by Faith Sanders, but a heck of a finish by Casey Jude. And she's doing a heck of a job.
Yalchin fouls in the trap, and this should be free throws coming. I believe that was the 5th of the half, or rather of the quarter. Yes, it is, so free throws coming up here.
But a minute 22, and now you have an opportunity. You can trade 3 for 2, 2 for 1, or if you can hopefully have her miss, but they've got to get the rebound. It doesn't look like the Spartans are going to try to get put any pressure on the rebound.
First free throw missed by Stacia Titer.
So now you've got a 2-for-1 or a 3-for-1. So right now you've got, if you can score on this end, you're in a good advantage.
Second is too long. Rebound by Juday. 80 seconds left. 4-point game. Eckerd down 4. Yalchin brings it through the center circle. Looks to drive on Warden. Gets shut off. Picks up the dribble. Floats it in. Richards has position. And under the rim, pushes up the shot. Got it back. Fouled. Richards will shoot 2. She just kept working.
I tell you, that is exactly right. That is a tough cut she made. Balanced herself. I thought she was going to travel, was able to get it up, but just enough to get the rebound. That is working your tail off, and now we have a chance to make this a one-possession game with 1:06 left. The shot clock still a factor here because you can get a stop and still get at least 2 more possessions.
First free throw good. It's a one-possession game.
Little offensive defense substitutions. Haley Howard back in the game. Get some pressure, trying to press. Give credit, they are still in this game, and they said this is pretty much an 8-0 run, 9-0 run.
After that one. 54-52, and the press still on. 1:06 to go. And it's thrown away in front of the Eckerd bench. Now here's the question, was it touched on the way out of bounds by Tampa? That will determine where the inbounds comes from.
It looks like it went off her hand, off a nice job by Denon to kind of try to get that deflection. I think it's a side out right in front of the Eckerd bench. Same thing, you are down 2, you have fought hard, get the ball inside, attack the basket. If you go for a 3, make it on an inside out situation.
And Richards gets stripped and stolen by Sanders, moves it into the front court. A missed opportunity for the Tritons, but no need to panic. They can still play it straight up here.
They don't need a foul, especially play this out at this point. You've already given 12 seconds off. Play defense, rebound, and no one gives up a second chance opportunity here.
SU has it, 10 to shoot, 40 seconds to go in the game. Tampa leading by 2 with the ball. White-Eye guarding Titer, nearly tied her up. A late stumble by Jeremy, missed the shot. 30 seconds left, White-Eye pushing up the floor. Denon with the Tritons down 2. Here's Yalchin, White-Eye the freshman. 20 seconds to go, shot clock and game clock almost even. Juday looking for the tie or the lead, instead passes off to Yalchin. Need to get something going and thrown away by White-Eye. Now they have to foul, and Jeremy is fouled, and the Tritons just waited too long there to try and get something going.
And the unsung hero's been playing big. She made some big plays in the first half. Jeremy snuck around, and that was what we talked about, throwing that post-entry pass instead of giving it. You got a ball fake, get that defense on the end. Now, obviously, 9 seconds left. You got to hope that Jeremy misses.
Hope she misses at least one. Use a timeout to advance the ball. Now, that's the course of action at this point.
59% free throw, 58% free throw shooter. Still opportunity, but man, they just didn't know what they really looked like they wanted on that possession. A tough turnover for the Tritons.
First free throw, good on the high arc. It's a 3-point game. Either way, you would think Coach Honsinger will move to advance the ball here with the timeout. Still has 1 left to do that with. Second free throw. No good. Grabbed by Denon. Timeout called with only a half second coming off the clock. Eckerd will have a shot to tie it. Down 55-52. Now, would you go for the 3 to tie here or go quick 2 and foul?
I'm going for a 3 because you've got 0 timeouts left. If you had 1 timeout left, I still think there's enough time where you can try for a quick 2. What I would like to see, though, it's a 3-point off the out of bounds with very little action. You don't have time. You want to get that 3-point attempt off with about 7 seconds. Give yourself a chance if you miss to get a long rebound, kick it back out. You don't have time to get that ball on the floor. All right, great action if you can try to maybe set a screen away from the basket, going on a double screen, an elevator screen, or try to bring the action towards the ball like on a corner. A staggered screen is very tough to guard, so I would bring one of their best shooters, Chelsea Johnson, Dallas Dickerson, maybe from the opposite elbow towards the corner and see if you can get an open look in the corner 3. Maybe action coming back to the top. So your 2 options are corner or to the top of the key.
Tampa has a foul to give if they choose to go that way.
So you've got 3 shooters that you can make it. Casey Juday sitting there So your first look is going to be either Denon or Dickerson, and then you've also got Yalchin. But keep in mind, the inbounder can be the most dangerous play too. So this time, see what kind of double action that they have here.
Stacked along the sideline, inbound into Yalchin. And the foul given by Warden with 5.6 to go.
And we didn't discuss that and give credit to Coach Jesse. He saw that. So quite honestly, now you look at it and you say, look, if 3 ties, maybe you foul again, and we just send them to the line. You've seen that type. I don't like that because if you make one, miss a second, you give a chance you can still lose that game now.
Inbound comes to Yalchin. 5 seconds. Need to get the 3 off. Dickerson, now Richards got it off and tied the game! Zoe Richards!
Not the shot they wanted, but what a heads-up play by Zoe Richards, and it might as well be her heck of a game, and now we're going to overtime.
Zoe Richards forces overtime with a straight-on three-pointer as Dickerson didn't have space to get a shot up and was just able to shovel it away. And looking at it, just naked eye judgment, I think there was about 0.4, maybe 0.3 on the clock when that came off Richards' fingertips.
That is not what he drew up.
No.
And you can see exactly that Dallas kind of got stuck, didn't know what to do. Give credit that she found Zoe and the heads-up play by Zoe to give her an opportunity to get the shot off. And then, ice-cold veins knocking down that shot. 40 minutes it took us to get to a tie game again. And now we have 5 more minutes free basketball here at the MacArthur Center.
5 minutes up on the clock for overtime. Eckerd and Tampa tied at 55 on a dramatic closeout.
And this is where you have emotions here. We said it was going to take a 15 to 18 point game. I wasn't anticipating that the Triton would hold them in 3 minutes to 1 point. So they went on a 12-1 run.
12-1 run to close regulation.
Tie it. But give them credit. Additionally, what type of mentality? The Spartans now have got to say, listen, we're struggling scoring. We only have had 18 points in the second half. We're not getting a lot of shots. Momentum now. It's taken 40 minutes to get it to the side of Eckerd. How can Eckerd capitalize getting this extra life? 9 lives here tonight here in the MacArthur Center. Tritons should not be in this spot, but they fought hard to give themselves a chance.
Tampa wins the opening tip of overtime. 55-55.
Give credit, Zoe Richards played the entire second half and just put together an outstanding game all around.
Handout back to Tyder, pull up 14-footer made, and Tampa goes in front right away in the extra period.
And that's got to feel good for Tyder. She really just kind of smooth, calm, and that kind of helps say, listen, we're fine. You want to get that momentum back after giving up that lead.
Yalchin high on the left wing, tries to float a pass in for Richards. It is intercepted and taken away by Tampa. Jeremy brings it back the other way with the Spartans up 2.
Too dangerous of a pass and just a careless turnover there.
Tyder shovels the ball back. Faith Sanders plowing down the lane and fouled. Her shot knocked out of bounds, but a body foul. 2 free throws coming for Sanders.
Give credit to Sanders. She's being played off, being dared to shoot. She's not even looking to shoot, but that playing off creates that driving lane, and it's very hard to stop and move your feet. Casey J drew a charge earlier. That time too much space, and she's able to draw the foul.
Low crouch, first free throw on the way and good. 3-point lead for the Spartans.
You fought hard, get tied game, still 2 possession, plenty of time.
Second free throw good as well. 4-point lead for Tampa. It's Yalchin, Denon, Jude, Richards, and Dickerson. A very experienced lineup out there for the Tritons. Yalchin waves for a clear out. Denon, Dickerson, Jude from right to left around the arc. Midway through the shot clock, Jude on the drive into the paint, stops, and through contact, her shot misses, and the rebound grabbed by Rachel Warden. Yalchin guards Warden tight on the far side in front of the Tampa bench. Near steal on the handoff to Sanders. Eshu, her pass poked away, and then a moving screen called against Emily Eshu on the handoff.
That's one of those things. Once again, that's the second one they call blocking foul. But Jesse not happy with that. Immediately off the ground. off the bench to say something. I thought Casey might have been called there for a reach-in foul, but a good defensive play, and she's smart. She anticipates it. It's such a tough defense to guard because of that natural screen, but then again, you jump it like she did, you have every right to try to get to that defensive spot as they're trying to hand off.
4-point game, Triton's down. Johnson in, nice pass over the shoulder, and Richards foul.
That's a big-time possession there. They were able to draw the foul. Like the drive by Chelsea Johnson. She's played very well at times, a little bit erratic at times, but that time, great pass. And, I mean, I don't know how much that contact, but obviously enough to get the call. So Zoe, once again, making things happen.
First free throw, good. 21 points now for Zoe Richards. Makes it a one-possession game again. Another free throw coming. Second free throw off the back iron and rebounded by Karma Jeremy. Dribble handoff to Titer. Personal was on her down at the other end, but still only 2 on her. We are in overtime here inside the MacArthur Center. Up fake by Titer, launches the drive on Johnson, winds up handing back out. SU shows the ball to Denon, looks to drive, got an angle, but then picked up her dribble. 3 to shoot, Denon challenges, rebound for Richards.
Really good defense, and she stayed on her feet and didn't go for that block. Nice job by Denon there.
Denon sees an alley, then gets it to Richards, fouled, and a chance to tie the game at the free throw line.
That's a heck of a play there by Denon. She drew the double team off the screen, and then a great pass, and guess who? Zoe Richards, once again, putting the team on her shoulders right now and making the offense count for the Titans.
This feels so much like that Rollins game where in overtime, Richards led Eckerd to victory with a career-high 26. She misses the free throw, though, here, so she has 23, and the Tritons are down 1 with 2:35 to go in overtime.
Tritons have not had
the
lead all
game. The steal. A chance to give the Tritons the lead. Pulls up for 3 off the front rim. Jude the rebound. Back out. Yalchin thought about the 3 again. Denon will shoot the 3 and give Eckerd the lead for the first time tonight.
Coach Hunsinger is laughing because he said, that's not the shot I would have wanted. But you know what? At some point, the law of averages say one of those 3s are going to fall. And that's a huge shot, the first lead of the night at the 2:16 mark in overtime for the Tritons. Unbelievable.
Eckerd trailed by 15 in this game, trailed by 11 with just under 3 minutes left. Finished regulation on a 12-1 run, and Yarden Denon has just given Eckerd the lead for the first time here with 2:16 to go in overtime. It is 61-59, Eckerd leading.
Well, we said in pregame, Nate, that it was going to have to get into the 60s if the Tritons wanted a chance to win. We didn't know it was going to take 5 extra minutes, and the first lead coming at 2:16, but got to give credit. You know, good shooters, they know they're going to have cold nights. That's what happens. Every good shooter has a tough night, but it's not getting it in your head, not letting it sink in. You know, you're just as good as your next shot, and as a good friend of mine always said, you miss 100% of shots you don't take. Give credit to Denon. That was from almost the dorms, but a huge shot there, and now the Tritons see if they can finish. They finally have come on top of the mountain. Can they finish it with the defense that put them in this position? 2:16 left.
61-59, and Eckerd comes out showing full court pressure. 2:15 to go, and the inbounds deflected by Yalchin. Had the steal that sparked last possession. Almost a 10-second violation. Jeremy just able to get it across for Tampa.
And I thought they were going to call double dribble. Good no call. The ball was knocked out, but good pressure by Ada Yalchin. And now you're down to 10 left on the shot clock, and they haven't set up the offense yet.
SU sets the screen. Sanders looking to drive on Denon. Late kick. Jeremy, high arcing shot, and air ball from the right side. Eckerd with the basketball. 1:40 to go in overtime and a 2-point lead.
And Tampa in this 4-game losing streak has lost some really close games. You got to wonder now, is this in their head? Are they saying, not again, we're losing another game that we should have won?
Denon gets the screen from Richards, then floats it back to Richards against a shorter defender, scores with the left hand.
And she drew contact. I thought she was going to get another and one. Heck of a finish there. Once again, the player of the game, Zoe Richards.
Richards has matched her career high with 26 points. She is 9 of 19 from the floor. She hit the three to get it to overtime. 65 seconds left. Eckerd by 4.
You can see the confidence sinking in right now with the way the Titans are moving on defense. They're beating the Spartans to where the spots they want to go.
4 to shoot. Sanders got an extra step in there and scores the layup.
Long, and gathered a lot of space with the step and the reach. Good finish there. Big possession here for the Titans. They can make this 2 possessions.
63-61, Eckerd leading, 40 seconds to go, 20 on the shot clock. Denon guarded high on the left wing. Jude had to reach to secure the pass in front of her bench. 12 to shoot. Under 30 seconds to go in overtime. Jude down the lane, jump stop, fights the shot up and scores with the right hand.
Unbelievable finish there. I mean, she just throws her body, great defense, and yet somehow she's able to finish the layup. And you know what? That's not a crazy shot because she practices it, and she's done that her entire career. But now you're seeing some of these players make great plays. Unbelievable. Great finish by Casey Jude there.
Richards with 26, Jude with 17.
And a double-double.
23 seconds to go.
Casey Jude, double-double, 11 rebounds. I mean, you're looking at these stats. There's no business, if you look at these stats and the way the Titans have shot, that they should have a lead at this point. Now they've got 23.6. Can they finish it up? The key is don't foul. Don't have the clock stop. You know the three-point shot isn't a threat. Really, Warden's the only one. Guard the lane. Anticipate. You know they're going to do a dribble handoff, but here's my question. This is a team that is built to bring the shot clock down. 23.6 seconds left. They're going to advance the ball to get it in the front court. But I don't know if the Spartans are really built to take, be down 4 points, 23.6 seconds left.
Tampa moves the basketball with the timeout.
If you're Tampa, you want to get something going. You want to try to get a shot up to the basket with about 15 seconds left or sooner.
Tighter, around a screen, spins back left, scores with a floater in the lane. Last timeout called by Tampa after cutting the Eckerd lead to 2 points. Interesting decision there. Yes, it gives you a chance to set up the press, but that also denies Tampa now having that timeout to move the ball one last time.
So now this is about protecting the basketball. You got to get it inbounds. You got to get to the front court. I would expect the call for Tampa is, let's try to get a trap early. If we can't get a trap within the first 5-6 seconds, we're going to foul. If we foul, we got to hope that they miss. Let's get into the person's hands that might, the wrong person, the free throw shooter that's not going to be able to make 2. So really important inbounds here for the Titans. Now, they can run the baseline. The Titans have got to remember that. They can run the baseline, shorten those angles. Give credit, though, to the Spartans. They executed that play of the timeout exceptionally well.
The Tritons, if they can't get it in, may want to use their overtime timeout to advance it themselves. They do get it into Chelsea Johnson. She is fouled after a 1.5 seconds and will shoot the free throws.
And give credit, they didn't even try to foul or trap. They went right to an immediate foul. This is a big-time opportunity for Chelsea Johnson. She can make 2. She really puts the Spartans on the heels. Anything less than 2 keeps this game in reach.
First free throw, good for Chelsea Johnson. Makes it a 3-point game, 66-63.
Cold as ice, standing up there with just confidence.
Second one rolls off. Rebounded by the Spartans. The other way comes Jeremy. No timeouts for Tampa. Looking for a shooter. Can't find one. Eshu starts left. 4 seconds left in the game. And an offensive foul. Emily Eshu leans an elbow into Chelsea Johnson. A turnover with 2 seconds to go.
And Chelsea Johnson, you got to hope she's okay. I think that's an easy call. Coach Jesse's not happy about it, but she's completely smothering her, and she lunges into it. She has every right to be moving, and Coach Jesse's just frustrated with this game, and when you see where this is at, 2.2 left, you kind of see that. But, man, you hope Chelsea, she took a really tough shoulder to the face there, and you hope she's okay.
Yeah, really took one for the team there, but put herself in tremendous defensive position that all SU could do was either fade away on a three, and quite frankly, I don't know if she could have even gotten a three to the rim that far out if she had to fade away, so she jumps in, and she created the contact.
And I think she stepped in the inside of the line. I don't even know if that would have been a three, but wow, what a just tough competitor there by Chelsea Johnson. And I tell you what, this is also where you look at the Spartans. If you're wondering why teams kind of fall into a tough situation, they're not really built for a quick three.
No.
So they needed to run a couple dribble handoffs, and this is, it's the same pretty much set they're running every time. I thought that play out of bounds to cut it to 2 or 3 it was 2 to cut it to 2 was an excellent call. And I would have liked to seen a quick hitter. They ran right into their motion, and that motion takes a long time with a dribble handoff, and you don't really set up an opportunity for a wide open three. So you just hope that she's okay, and that she can move. She took it right into, and give credit to the Tampa Spartans. Good sportsmanship. Their players clapping on the bench. Hard-fought game. Both teams really don't deserve to lose this game, but wow, what an unbelievable play there. Finish and great sportsmanship by the Spartans. That's just something you don't ever want to see a competitor get hurt like that.
Well, it took a long time for things to start breaking their way, but the Tritons at various points in this game, looked like they were in dire straits and played their way out of it to where they are now, just 2.2 seconds away from seizing their 8th conference victory.
Throw it to the front court, 2.2. It's going to be impossible. Don't throw it behind in no way, shape, or form, or they can.
Well, they do, but it works. Yelchin holds the basketball for 2 seconds, and Eckert defeats Tampa in overtime, 66-63.
And what a finish by the Tritons. They stole a game that they probably should have lost, and that is huge for our standings. We talked about it in the piece. That gives them now a 3-game advantage over the Spartans. They're in the top 4. They've got a huge game Saturday. Unbelievable. If you said to Coach that these are going to be your stats at the end of the game and you're going to win this game, he'd say no chance. What an unbelievable finish for the Tritons. A heck of a victory.
45 minutes of basketball, and Eckert led for 2 minutes, 17 seconds of it.
Unbelievable. And, I don't know if you've ever seen, those, ESPN, you always love to see the percentages of winning a game. They did that with the Super Bowl, and we're in that time period. We're getting ready for the next Super Bowl. Last year when the Patriots made that incredible comeback, 99% chance of losing the game. What was that? All in the last 3 minutes of the fourth quarter, and the Tritons flipped the script, did what it takes. That's a team of champions, and that's what it takes. When you're marked every night to come out, the team of champions, they show that champion pedigree tonight.
Zoe Richards matching her career high with 26 points. Casey Juday had 17. It was Richards' 3 as time expired that forced overtime. And then Yarden Denon on a second chance opportunity, the go-ahead 3 in overtime. And the Tritons clamped down on defense at various points to secure a win and improve to 14-5 overall, 8-4 in Sunshine State Conference play. The Spartans lose their 5th straight, falling to 5-7 in the conference, 12-7 overall. And now we are about 30 minutes from tip-off in the men's game. We will step aside for about a 10-minute break, maybe 15, and then be back to start pregame coverage for the Tritons against the Spartans on the men's side. For Ryan Halstead, I'm Nate March. This has been a presentation of the Eckerd Tritons Sports Network. Hang with us. Men's game will be coming up after a 66-63 overtime win by the Tritons over Tampa. Welcome back inside the MacArthur Center. The Eckerd College Tritons men's basketball team and the University of Tampa Spartans getting set to square off on the hardwood. We had an overtime thriller in the women's matchup. Eckerd rallying from 11 down late for a 66-63 win. I'm Nate March. Ryan Halstead will be joining me in just a moment. Coming into this men's game, the Spartans at 10-8 overall, 5-5 in Sunshine State Conference play. They are 3-8 in Sunshine State Conference play. And Eckerd comes in at 15-3, tied atop the conference at 8-3 and 8-1 here on their home court. We are about 15 minutes away from tip-off here on James Harley Court. And Ryan, the Tritons men's team looking to build on momentum. They have a big matchup on the road on Saturday, but no opportunity to look ahead. There are some dynamic scorers on this Tampa roster.
Yeah, that's the issue here with this Eckerd team. They've already lost a couple teams to the bottom half, but you're right. They have a big matchup Saturday against Barry at Barry, but they can't forget about tonight's opportunity. And this is one of the things that I think Coach Ryan does a really good job. You know, he really emphasizes it's not about the opponent, it's about us. Are we getting better each night? Are we getting better each day? Are we better tonight than we were on Saturday? And so a good test, but also a good opportunity for them to show why they are one of the top teams in the conference.
Later on in pregame, we will hear from Eckerd assistant coach Marcus Chief Bryant. Ryan will have that coming up in just a few minutes. The players to watch for the Spartans, well, in particular, Pat Bacon, a 6-foot-tall junior from Indianapolis, Indiana, and he has been sizzling this season, averaging better than 20 per game. And now, Ryan will take it away with assistant coach Chief Bryant.
And of course, we welcome Coach Chief Marcus Bryant here for his pregame talk. We always appreciate him giving us some time. And Coach, another opportunity here. We just talked about how this is kind of an interesting matchup. You got a team that's at the bottom of the conference, but we've done that before on the road, and a big matchup on Saturday. What do you do to make sure that we're not caught looking ahead for Saturday?
Well, first let me say hello to my Eckerd family out there. I know we were taught once before. This is a team with the veterans that we have on this team. 2 years ago, we lost to Tampa when they were at the bottom of the league, and we were fighting to win regular season championship. So with the experience that we have on the team, these guys should already know. Last year, we missed regular season championship by 1 game, and we've had 2 losses to teams who are at the bottom of the half. So it's something that we, hopefully from our experience, hopefully the veterans, the leaders on the team is picking everyone up because we don't want to go through that again.
So looking at it, you did a great job Saturday kind of calling the game. I mean, we didn't have to really be here. You said we're going to rebound tonight. That's the key. And boy, did you. A rebound advantage of 21 against Florida Tech Saturday. And you look at this team, and by all intents and purposes, this is another one of those games that you guys should be able to dominate the glass. What makes it about this matchup? You guys aren't always the biggest in the conference, but what makes you guys such a good rebounding team?
Well, one, I wish that every time I said we need to do something, we go out and do it. That'll be great in my career. But, you know, I think the guys are starting to realize that crashing the boards, that's one of our advantages. And they're starting to realize the success that we have when we do so. You look at the losses that we have and the rebounding, it wasn't so great. So the guys, you just have to be hungry for it. And that's something that we preach. You know, if we got, I'll say 2 of the best rebounders in the conference, especially offensively, and those guys go and get after it. So those guys, you know, with them leading our team, it really pulls dog into everybody else, and they say, okay, I want to build that, coach. I want to be a part of that. And so everybody tends to crash the boards.
Well, one of the things that also was a huge advance for you guys on Saturday, and I think this is one of the reasons you're also at the top of the conference, is the depth that you have. You guys have players that come off the bench and you don't miss a beat. One of those players, Blake Morrow, we haven't really spoke about him in pregame, but what makes Blake so tough? He reminds me of an Alex Bodney with his motor,
right,
but he's just tenacious and has just that fiery spirit that you just love to see from a competitor.
Well, Blake's, you know, he's been a good player since early in high school. He's been All-State as a sophomore, and he's just a heck of a player. One thing you want to recruit when you're in college, you want to recruit a kid that has dog. really has it. He has just the right amount of cockiness to feel that he's the best player on the court every time, and he has the work ethic to get in the gym to work on every aspect of the game that he can. Him coming off the bench, like you say, it adds depth, and certain teams don't have that, and that's one of our huge advantages, and we expect him to come in the game and not to miss a beat. When he usually comes in for Keyshawn, and when Keyshawn, you know, Keyshawn's more of a shooter, laid back. Blake's going to come in and try to get to the rim. He does a great job at the free throw line and getting to the free throw line, so that helps us out a lot as well.
Let's switch over to Tampa tonight. Of course, you know, they're a pretty young team compared to some of these other teams. Not as many seniors. One of those big players, though, is their junior, Pat Bacon, averaging over 20 points a game. What do you got to do tonight to make it uncomfortable for him?
Well, just like Sam Daniels last week, Sam Daniels for Florida Tech.